Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Well guys, I'm finally back doing some sea fishing, and it's been a long time, and I'm with my son Connor, who's home visiting from Germany. We've had 3 flounder so far, but the weed is absolutely horrendous today. We've got an onshore northeasterly wind. The surf's really nice, it's just a shame about the weed. So yeah, we've not been able to cast for long. We're trying to keep the rods as high out the water as possible, just casting short, just into the surf. And yeah, we've had 3 lovely flounder. Hopefully we'll get some pictures of them as we go on. Unfortunately, you're not going to see much. There's obviously a bit of a har coming off the North Sea today, really misty. It's supposed to possibly brighten up later on. The tide has just turned, so the tide has just started flooding in, and we fished probably about an hour and a half of the ebb tide before low tide. So yeah, we'll no doubt we'll get chased up the beach a bit as the tide comes in, but hopefully we'll get some flounder. You know, a really good sign to get fish on the outgoing tide. And 2 fish were really biting hard. I thought there was something else, possibly a bass, but no, it was flounder. So anyway, I'm sure you'll meet Connor as we go on. Connor, by the way, he doesn't like fishing very much. I put him off fishing for good, pretty much when he was a youngster, taking him out in horrendous weather and taking him on venues like this actually when he was too young to fish. You know, fishing with heavy rods, it's not the best for a young kid. But he agreed to come out with me today, spend time with his dad before he goes back home. So like I said, hopefully we get some more fish, show you on camera, show you the rigs, show you how we're fishing, and yeah, just fingers crossed we get some more fish. So yeah, I'm just walking down to where the rods are. We're trying to fish at the sort of the water mark, just to be as close to the surf as we can, and as I said, keeping the rods as high as we can, just to keep the line, as much line off the water as possible. Because if there's too much line, it just gets caked in weed, and you know, that just lifts your lead. We're fishing grip leads as well just now, just because of whatever weed we do get on the line, it is just dragging the lead really quickly. So fishing the grip leads just to stay put for a little bit of time. Yeah, just a real pity. It's so misty, can't get a look around the beach. Would have got the drone out just to give you a look about. But fingers crossed, it may brighten up. It's trying to burn off. Anyway, let's get fishing and hopefully we get some action for you. Hey! Connor's first fish, nice little flounder. Brilliant. The weed is an absolute nightmare, guys. Nice flounder. Brilliant. That was a cracking bite, wasn't it? Aye. Well guys, the tide's fairly racing in now. Not too much of a pace where we're getting chased up the beach, but it's certainly pushing us up. There's a little bit of a crest here in the sand, so it will slow down at this area, and then once it gets over that, we'll speed up again until it gets up to the high tide mark. We'll just keep rebaiting. We've both got just 2 hook flappers on, really simple, size 1 hook, Aberdeen hook, with grip leads. And the bait, the bait is as simple as it comes. I caught some mackerel last year, close to home, and I did a little video about that, just catching bait, really simple. and I salted the mackerel last year, and I've just been using that. So yeah, salted mackerel, and I've only been cutting it up into little cubes, and I'll show you obviously the setup and what I'm using. So yeah, really simple, just 3 or 4 little cubes on each hook, and that is what has caught the 3 flounder. I would have loved to have had some ragworm. I do think it's probably the best bait for flounder, but certainly fish baits I do think is better for turbot. And all I'm doing is, you can see the waves are breaking quite far out, and basically we're just casting right in the middle of the surf, not too far at all, maybe a 50-yard chuck. I think if you try and cast any further than that, you'll just literally be casting over the fish. So the time now is 1:30, so we've been 2 hours into the flood tide, another 4 to go until high tide, and this har that's coming off the sea from the North Sea has just not lifted whatsoever. So I still can't give you a look round the beach just to see what's round about us. There's just no point, the camera's not picking it up. But yeah, so good to be back on the beach, especially with my boy, and obviously even better we're catching some fish. I've just had a little bite there on the big rod. Yeah, definite bites. A big mistake I think a lot of people make with flounder fishing, or flatfish in general, is they'll see a little bite and they'll go and strike straight away. The best thing to do is, if you see a bite, just leave it a couple of minutes, because the fish will sit on the bait most of the time, and a lot of the time obviously they do get deep hook, but that's part and parcel really of flounder fishing, unless you're using circle hooks, which I usually use. But because I'm using little cubes of mackerel, the Aberdeen hooks hold them a lot better than the circle hook, and unfortunately I will deep hook some fish. Bites have not come back yet, just keeping an eye on it. If it goes again, I'll bring it in. Right, so I've given this a couple of minutes, there's been no more rattles, so I think the fish is sitting on the bait now, so I'm going to bring it in. Can't feel any real weight behind it yet. No, nothing that time. I'll give you a quick look at the rig, guys. So there we are, just a 2-hook flapper, size 1 Aberdeen hook, quite a short snood, only a foot between each hook, each bead. I'm on a 60-pound shock leader, swivel at the top, point clink swivel to the bottom to the weight, and a 4-ounce grip lead. And that's it, really simple. Really surprised that bite didn't develop into something else. But I'll get this rebaited. I've got a couple of cubes on each one. So yeah, these are the little cubes, just little cubes of mackerel, probably about a centimetre squared, just a rough cube, salted, and they stay on the hook really good. Just keeping the rod up high once I've cast. to stop the weed catching the line and then keeping it high in the rod rest. I think Connor had a bite there. I need to walk back with the rods a little bit anyway. What I'll do when I'm walking back with the rods is I take the multiplier out of gear, put the ratchet on, and I just take the drag off the fixed spool reel so it's quite slack, and then walk back with the rods. I think Connor might have another fish with a real nice bouncing tip. Yeah, I think you got one. Has he? Yeah, he's got a nice flounder. Oh, you got a turbot! You got a turbot! Brilliant! Let's have a wee look at this while it's flapping about. Oh, look at the colours on that. What a stoter! We'll get this unhooked, have a look at it. Excellent. That's bet my PB. Connor's first ever turbot, and it's bigger than my last one. That's a beautiful fish, isn't it? Yeah, kiss it. Come on, we'll get this guy back. We'll put it back. Connor might have one. Saw his rod tapping away. We're just moving the rods. Yeah, he's got something. Oh, a little flounder. Lovely. You see the colours of it. Nice. Well done, Connor. So guys, Connor and I, we fished up until high tide. I had one more flounder. I missed it off camera. This is me here juggling the fish. But I had a fantastic day with Connor today. Good to be out with your boy. I don't get out often enough with him. But yeah, it's been a good day. Apart from this mist, it's been here all day today. But the last part of the session was just really quiet. Started off with a good flurry of fish just before low tide, and then Connor had his 3 just on the turn of the tide on the flood, and I had one more flounder and then that one just at the end. Guys, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time on Piscator UK.